Good evening. How are we doing, Chris? You alright? GT4, late night Thursday from Silverstone. And everything. We don't, we have 8. Organised as always, Chris.
I might do this on my laptop this evening.
Oh, okay. This is you.
Okay.
This is you prepared as always, Chris.
Yes. Yes. Well, you wouldn't have it any other way, would you?
Yeah. In all fairness.
So I think one of the most important things we need to say tonight, first of all, before we get started, is a bid you and a farewell to one of the most iconic women in the UK.
Yes. I think everyone should know who we're on about.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
The Queen, yes.
Yes.
So, yes, we've got 8 drivers in, that's good.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to have at least double figures. So we get another couple showing up throughout the session, that would be fantastic.
Well, there is still just over 7.5 minutes left of free practice.
Okay.
So maybe.
I do like your retouch that you've got there. You do have something scrolling at the top right hand corner.
Can you see it?
Of our... It's very, very kind of blurry, but yes, I can. It's sort of straightened it out. So I'm going
How's
to
that?
ask you, what is this that you're actually scrolling through, if you don't mind me
It's the
asking?
standings.
Ooh, very French.
Can you see them?
They're very, very small.
Are they?
Yes.
Are they visible?
Keep going. No, I would stick with that. That looks okay, but it's kind of filtered off at the bottom of the. So you could maybe move it up slightly.
I've already done it. You're just behind, Chris.
Okay. Fantastic. Oh, look at that. You're such a genius. And can I just have a wee mention to you as well tonight? This
To who?
scrolling text underneath our broadcast of our images. I used that little trick in the FRL casts last night and it worked an absolute treat.
Ah, okay.
So it looks like we have Butler Racing, Link for 7, EK Drifter, YZA007, The Devil Sun, Troll, Aaron Mark, and Will Friedman. So the usual suspects. Missing a few as well. I think the last GT4 race we had about 14 in. And as you can see from the standings scrolling up as well, if you can see it, it's slightly.
I'm wondering if it's too small to see.
Yeah, I think it's too blurry. How are you getting it to scroll like that though? I quite like that.
Same way I get the thing to scroll left to right underneath.
I like that. That's really, really good, mate.
I'll just have to think of another way of doing it.
Yeah, that's okay. We could have. We could probably do something like just animated text. Like another bar of text underneath ours with just the standings, or even at the top.
Yeah.
And then that way people know who's fighting for what.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I've just had to change my buttons because I changed them because I went back to the PS4 on Tuesday night.
You did indeed. And how well did you do in PS4?
Didn't do too bad.
I think you ended up, you were last or something, weren't you?
Yeah, didn't manage to get a quali lap in. So started dead last in P13 and finished P4.
You did indeed. You were an absolute genius. I couldn't catch you. I made a wee mistake. I totally don't like the disrespect that I received from yourself during that race.
From me?
Yes,
I don't know
you
what you're on
already
about.
told me earlier on. You admitted that you had a little chuckle when you passed me when I spun.
You were facing the wrong way though, Chris.
Just after Farm, Linkler turned into me, and we had a wee chat on the live chat. So
It it
it's
was
all good.
funny that
It was like one of those situations where you never realised. I thought he went wide because he was giving me the space, so I went for the gap. He then turned into me, and the twos. It was a racing incident. I spun. I came worse off. I ended up going dead last, and I fought my way back to eighth. So I was only 4 cars behind you, and about maybe 34 seconds behind you, I think, in total.
yeah.
Oh God, that Beaver was going sideways round there. So Butler is throwing his car about. He has set the benchmark time. I think it was a 2:13. If you want to change the times around,
2:13.2.
a 2:13.2.
Yes.
See, that's not bad. I mean, in a GT4 car, Will Friedman's still to run, so I reckon they're in for a little bit of a shock. Unless Will Friedman himself is going to.
Well, Will Friedman has surprised me and gone in the BMW,
Oh, right, okay.
which
He's
I
normally
don't.
in the Merc, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't think he no longer runs the BMW.
Maybe giving himself a wee challenge this evening.
Yes. And TK Drifter's gone in the Alpine.
Ooh.
He's not gone
So,
his normal Maserati.
what is your prediction for this evening? We've got 3 minutes, just under 3 minutes left of qualifying. What is your prediction for tonight's podium?
Okay, so my prediction for the podium is going to be TK Drifter P1,
Right.
Will Friedman P2,
Okay.
and I think Linkler's going to pitch P3.
Okay, I'm going to go Will Friedman for P1, TK Drifter for P2. I think Dan Mark's been improving a lot lately, so I'm going to give him a wee punt for P3.
Oh, okay, that's a fair point.
Yep. He's been doing really well lately,
He
and
has.
he's perfecting the art of making his arse double the size of any other car on the track.
Yeah. Are you? Quick question, Chris. Are you just sat on your laptop?
Yes.
I thought you were. Because when you start commentating on things, I'm like, it was about 15, 20 seconds ago.
As well, I could. Let me just see. Let me just see. Let me just see. We're seeing here. Ruby dooby doo, ruby dooby doo, ruby dooby doo. What I'll do is I'll switch accounts.
You'll what?
Accounts. I'll go on to. I'll log in through the FRL account, and I should see it quicker. Should see it live.
No, you won't. There's always a 15-second delay for it getting uploaded.
How is that?
Yes.
Now, it looks like we've already got a few people. No audio on Chris. Oh goodness, here we go.
No audio on Chris. Talk,
When
Chris.
I speak, what's happening in your audio output? Am I flicking up and down?
Yes, you are.
Guys, put a wee comment in the chat. Is the audio coming through on myself or not?
JR Sim
Oh,
Racing's
my
but
audio's fine now. JR's saying my audio's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
I thought it was.
So it looks like Will Friedman has left and came back in an Alpina.
So he has. I wonder
Oh,
what the reasoning behind that was.
I think he's perhaps trying to challenge himself this evening.
Mm.
Baseball cap makes me look like a chav. Hang on, I'll just put it sideways.
So we are into qualifying, Chris.
Are indeed. So that was a nice, lovely, free practice session showing some benchmark times there. I think Butler's kind of going to be given a bit of a battle tonight. I mean, we never gave him any love there by saying he was going to be in the top three.
I think it'll be very close. That's what I said. I said I think Linkler will pinch it off him
You think so?
because Linkler is so fast. But again, Butler's very fast. I had a very good race with Butler on Tuesday night actually.
Late night, it was too fast for me. Ever so slightly, by about maybe 4 tenths a lap, 3 tenths a lap.
I was
And I made no mistakes.
I was on Butler's bumper for
I would say half
laps,
minute.
4 or 5 laps, and we had a little touch into the chicane,
Excellent.
which unfortunately turned Butler around, and I did the gentleman thing and waited for him to go back past.
Excellent. Well, whilst you're doing that, I'll go and quickly have a look at the standings. The standings themselves, they are scrolling over the top of the broadcast, as you can see, guys. However, I'm just going to go in and have a look myself and just go through the table.
If
Go
you
through.
can't physically see them standings, Chris, I'll get rid of them.
Yeah, just take them away. We'll do like a wee scrolling bar, I think, next week.
Yeah. There you go. They're gone. So Butler's just on his first flying lap, and he's the first one on track, so he will be the first one to put a time in.
Excellent. Push it on down. Let's go to the late night. So I'm excited to be here tonight. We never done, was it Sunday, because there was only 5 drivers?
Yeah, numbers were low on Sunday. I think it might, the Formula One had been on as well, hadn't it? Are you there, Chris? No, Chris is turned into a statue.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's back.
What's that?
Your picture. Oh, you're back. We lost you then, Chris.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Am I still here?
You are still here. Have you got your standings up yet?
I'm just getting up to speed. The standings are now here in front of me. So it is We the Kev who is in first place and Gamerdad in second.
Yeah.
But with the two of them absent this evening, that's going to change. Tro's in third place, with Fast Matt closely followed behind. We've got Renvler, Shuffler, Linkler, Fresh Briz. His name's still in there. I think he'd done enough to keep himself in the top 10.
We the Kevin has disappeared because I'm sure he was in the survey.
I don't think he's racing in this anymore, is he?
His name was down. I'm sure he was in the survey.
No. Devil's Son and Eisenkedi round off the top 10. Will Friedman, who had a couple of weeks break on this particular series, is sitting in 11th place, so that's a bit of a shocker. One of our platinum drivers. And then we've got Evan in 12th. And I don't think we have... Who's representing tonight? YZA. He's currently in 21st place. But after tonight, he's going to rise up the table. We've got Darren Mark, who's in 16th. Do we have Big Time Dave in the server?
No.
Okay. So, all to play for. The table itself has got 50 entrants. So basically, this is an arrive and drive series where you show up, arrive, drive any GT4 car you like on a Thursday night,
Yeah.
and you appear in the standings. 50 slots. Most of the races throughout the series so far I've seen like 16 and 12 and 14. We had a 10 around Spa, 14 because I think a lot of people are scared of Spa. 14 in Barcelona, and Zandvoort started off the season with 13 drivers. So we're averaging double figures, and it's a bit of a shocker this evening that we're now at Silverstone, probably one of the most notoriously faster tracks out of them all. And we've got less than 10, it's 7 drivers. So who's dropped out?
Darren Marks put in the Discord that he's got to go. Something to do with his neighbour.
Oh,
So,
that means my podium prediction's gone. All right.
We the Kevin has left the server, and that's it.
That's okay. So we've got 7 drivers this evening,
We have
and it looks like
Linklet has currently done a 2:11.9.
oh right, okay. See, that's starting to get close. That's that round about 10 seconds. The cars are slower than GT3 cars around here,
Yeah.
so
Tro
your
is
average
Tro's
under
coming
20.
along. He's gonna do a 2:13.2, which puts him in P4.
Right, okay. And I love the colours that TK Drifters used in the night in that little Alpina. And it looks like Will Friedman is out on track as well in his Alpina.
Yes.
I'm saying
Devil
Alpine, just an
Devilson's
Alpine.
just coming around the last corner to set a lap.
Okay. We've got just under 2 minutes left of qualifying, so we've maybe got 2 more laps left for most of the guys.
And Devilson goes P4 with a 2:13.1.
Right, okay.
Uh,
Butler's not that as far off a pace.
TK Drifter's just coming through the last couple of corners.
Mm-hmm.
Is he up on his time at the minute? He currently is 4.5 tenths up,
Right, okay.
which it's looking to be a 2:11.
Okay. So it looks like there's going to be 2 gaggles of cars.
2:12.2 puts in P2.
And Will Friedman's yet to cross that line with a valid
Yes,
lap.
let's have a look at Will. I quite like the look of the Alpine.
Yeah, it's a nice wee car. I think.
I've never driven it though.
No, I'm the same. I'd rather drive a Mighty Janetta than an Alpine. I think. But he's went for the all black Will Friedman, which is quite a sleek looking little bullet on 4 wheels.
Yes, considering the car he was in was all gold.
That's correct. Just try to keep the guys on their toes so that they'll have a shiny gold thing in the rear mirror.
Yeah.
But as you can see,
I
the
think
little logos kind of flashing at the side of the videos. We've got our comms by Coops, who does a lot of the comms for PC Side now. We've got a mental health affiliation with the mental health for gamers. Anyone that's kind of needing to have a wee chat about anything, if you're ever in that position, it's a great place to go. There's lots and lots of guys there, open-minded, ready and waiting, happy to have
well,
a conversation with you.
sorry to interrupt, Chris, but
Yep, of course.
qualifying is finished, and
Yes,
Will
that's correct.
Friedman is in P6.
Right, okay. So he's went out and he's trying his hardest. He's trying to put his little Alpine, and I think he invalidated his last attempt,
Well,
perhaps.
it's going to be very close, Chris, because the top 7 are separated by 7 tenths.
The top 7.
Yes.
This is going to be interesting, I think. It's
It's
going
going to
to
be
be a
close.
train of 7 cars. The top 7? Do you mean the top 6?
The top 6, sorry, yes.
So YZ couldn't get a lap in unless he's.
I think he's on a lap. Yes, he is. So Butler Racing will be the next ones across the line. Linkler and TK Drifter are in the pits.
Okay.
So Butler Racing coming across the line now, and he is going to. I wonder if that invalidated his lap. He run quite wide out the second to last corner, and he stays P5.
Right, okay.
So YZ is coming around the last corner now, and Tro is not far behind him.
Okay, so a couple of cars
Let's
still over.
see if it's a valid lap. These are the last 2 on track. And he stays P6 and Tro goes to P2. So we've got Devil Sun P1 with a 2:11.8. Tro is 6 thousandths of a second behind him in P2. Linkler is P3, TK Drifter P4, Butler Racing P5, Will Friedman P6 and YZ007 in P7. So
Right.
the whole 7 cars are separated by 1.7.
Yeah, so we the Kev was in, like you said.
Yes.
Will Friedman's got his name on the table twice. He's trying to double up in points tonight. That's not fair on everyone.
Yeah. He's quick enough to drive both cars.
He's got 2 PlayStations going. He's
Yeah.
steering one. He's steering one with his feet and the other with his steering wheel in his hands.
Oh, so what's been going on in the chat, if anything? Alan Brown, £5 for half a beard.
£5 for half a beard. Yeah, so I was going through the little icons that are kind of like skipping through next to us. We've got an awesome side of things as well, where you can upload and sync your custom made liveries onto the PC side.
Yes.
Devil Sun sent a picture to one of the groups. That might be the qualifying
results.
Excellent. Well, Friedman will have taken it anyway.
Yes.
Well, it looks like we're going to have 29 degrees on track with 23 degrees ambient. And the track's sitting at an optimum position just now. So pretty much the same setup as the way it's going to unfold. The late night races are going to have the same race day, in-game race times and the same temperatures, because we're now down to availability on servers. We're now down to having 1 PS4 server, 2 PS5 servers.
Yep.
So how it's going to unfold is whilst the servers are set up through the week. Whilst the servers are set up through the week, these servers are going to be available for the guys in late night, so they can get their practice laps in leading up to the late night events themselves, so that when we do reset the servers for late night, they're just going to be the same track temps and the same parameters. So, and you know what it's like though, the servers evolve themselves, but they'll generically be quite similar.
Yeah. I think we'll go on board with TK Drifters for the start as well.
Okay, so right in the middle of the pack.
Yep. So, just while they're getting ready to go on the formation lap, let's have a quick look through the chat. There is a question for you in there, Chris. It's
Sure.
from Alan Brown, formerly known as Fresh Brazil. How did the girly football go, Chris?
Girly football. Very good indeed. Right, where can I see the chat? Why can't I see the chat? Why can't I see the chat? Why can't I see the chat? Analytics. Why can't I see the live chat? Why can't I see the live chat?
Have you broke it again,
Oh,
Chris?
show chat. Yep. That's better. So, football went well, my friend. That's my third game of the week, now done and dusted, so I'm a happy camper.
You're a happy camper.
Yes.
Talking of camping, Chris, have
Yes.
you sorted out the Donington trip yet?
So, mine and Checkers tickets are purchased. We just don't have accommodation yet, so that's probably just going to be a sleep in the car jobby or in someone's tent, and we'll half their bill or whatever. So we'll see how it goes.
So what, you're just gonna sleep at Donington Circuit?
And just sleep cuddled up with Checker in the front seat of his car.
Kevin's put a question in the chat for us, Chris. How much to shave both the beds? Do you know what?
So
I will put it out there now. If we can get 3 late night races where the grids are full, I will shave my beard off.
oh, you'll shave your beard off.
So will you.
No, if someone was to, if enough money was put in to run all the servers for all the PC side, all the PlayStation 5 side, all the PlayStation 4 side for a full year, I'll shave my beard and my head so that I'm completely and utterly bald.
Live on stream.
You want me to do it live on stream, then fine. So work out the cost of that if the servers are covered for a full year across the board.
No, genuinely, if we get a full grid on a Tuesday, a Thursday, and a Sunday in the same week, I will shave my beard off.
Okay. So has it got to be 3 races in concession?
Yes, all in the same
Got
week.
to be all in the same week.
Yeah.
Right, let's get the word out, guys. Put it out there. Get it in the public chats. One of the beards is going to be shaven if we can get full grids.
Kevin's just put, in other words, Volton is not a battle buddy. He won't give his beard up for Woodward.
So I've already laid out the parameters as to why what would make me lose this beard. It's took me my entire life to grow this, so we're talking lots of money here, enough to cover all the servers for a full year. This thing will come off.
Okay, Chris.
Let's go back to the racing.
Yeah. Where are they on track? They are just coming down the Formula 1 start-finish straight. So they're only halfway around the lap.
Yeah, and we've got Devilson in the lead, who seems to be putting in the laps lately, putting in some fast times lately as well, and most of the races he's taking part in. The man to keep an eye on, so to speak.
Yes.
And out of the 7, who would we like to bring in as our post-race interview?
Let's see how the race goes.
Yeah, that's a good shout. So we'll just coming into farm now. Kind of slowest section on the track.
No, we're not.
That's farm there, is it not?
No, farm's a tight hairpin, isn't it? The one where you got turned round.
Could be, could well be. I think that entire section is the farm.
Oh, is it?
And then flat out here, leading down to the second last corner.
So Devilson looks like he wants to get on with this. He's quite far ahead of Tro.
The good thing about late nights is the formation lap is unguided, so it allows the guys to get their tyres up to spec as best as possible.
And we are... There's a very big gap between first and second and third.
Green light, green light. Go, go, go.
And they go.
And very clean through turn one. They all kind of filter in. I love how close these cars can drive.
I know, it's so good, isn't it? That's the beauty of the GT4 races. That's why it perplexes me that the grids are not fuller, because the races are so intense, they're so great.
YZ has just sent it on the inside of Will Friedman.
Yeah, and
he's made it stick.
Oh, maybe Will Friedman's struggling in his little Alpine.
Possibly.
Alpina? Is it an Alpina?
Alpine.
An Alpine. Right, I got you. I'm going to do a little bit of a strategic thing here, I think.
Oh, what are you going to do now?
I'm going to put some people on that way.
Well, I did wonder, Will's coming back at YZ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so things don't last that long when you go beyond Will Friedman.
No. Well, he's kept him behind.
So is this YZ keeping behind, or is it Will Friedman happily sitting behind?
No, because he was very close. Looked like he went for a move, and the door was closed in his face.
Ooh.
Clean. It was a clean closing of the door. It wasn't but currently, from throughout the field, all the cars are within a second. Oh well, YZ is 1 second behind TK Drifter, but all the other cars are within a second. So currently we've got Devilson out in front, Tro just shy of a second behind, who's got Linklet 4/10 behind, Butler Racing, TK Drifter, YZ, and then Will Friedman, who's running at the back, which is a surprise.
There we go, the suggestions are starting to get wild now, so if Chris doesn't shave Beard off, he's got to dye his hair. And then Kev's put, okay, Woody shaves his beard and Bolton dyes his hair pink and takes a picture in the same outfit that James promised to do for his birthday race.
Now that's a phenomenal idea, Kev.
I'll happily dye my hair pink. I need to take a week off work, but I'll happily dye my hair pink.
Dye your hair pink and we're allowed to write triple X on your forehead.
You can keep your triple X to yourself, but I'll dye it pink.
Oh, your volume's just come online. Butler Racing must have made a mistake because TK Drifter's got past him as they're coming into farm. Now, what's the Alpine like in a straight line? Butler's currently looking for the inside, and he does get him under brakes. touch. Yeah, TK just should drop back a little bit now. They're all lapping sort of similar pace, high 212s, low 213s.
Right.
But the field is just starting to spread out a little bit now. All sort of in and around a second between each other.
Good. But I don't think it's going to pan out that much. I think there's still going to be kind of close enough. If somebody makes a mistake.
Well, yeah, if Devilson makes a mistake, he could quite easily go to the back.
Yes.
Because I bet separating the pack is probably 6 seconds. Maybe 7.
Paul Friedman at the back, giving YZ some serious rear mirror perplexities. Could this be Will Friedman's kryptonite though?
The Alpine, probably, yes.
He obviously does like a challenge, and it's good to see other people trying other things.
He's very late on the brakes, isn't he?
I've branched right out in my racing abilities and went for the Bentley and stuck with the Bentley.
Oh, Will's run wide, which gives YZ some breathing space.
Yes.
Oh, look what's going on in front. TK Drifter is looking at the inside of Butler Racing, and he makes it stick. Can he make it stick on the apex? Butler Racing cuts across the grass and then reappears in front of YZ.
Excellent.
So
what? YZ is an Alpine sandwich.
no, he's not. He's got Butler Racing in front in the BMW.
Oh, so he has, but the racing's now there. Devilson is holding firm.
I think Butler Racing. I think Butler's going to have another look at TK Drifter.
Right.
I think if he can get the run down the hanger straight. I think these cars are pretty much matched for pace. BMW seems to be a little bit better in the braking zones though, because you just close that gap right up.
Right.
If you didn't mess about going to football, Chris, you'd be organised.
Never ever. Oh, that's what it is. Much better.
So yeah, YZ's dropped off the back of Butler Racing a little bit now. But I think the closest battle is Butler Racing and TK Drifter at the minute. Which is good.
We've got the cockpit view of Linkler with Tro and Devilson in front of him, and Linkler is pushing his car to the absolute limits.
It looks like they've gone very, very close in the last.
Linkler's deliberately kind of gaining on them in the braking zone, so
yes.
he's letting.
I think he's letting Tro put some pressure on Devilson.
Yeah. So that he can keep on the toes.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to let Devilson get that breathing space, so he can pull away. We know what that Ginetta is like in the tight, twisty stuff. So
yeah, like,
through Maggots and Beckett's it'll be phenomenal. Through the last sector it'll be quick.
I'm in Will's Alpine just now. He's right behind YZ, and I'm just going to see what it's like through the Maggots and Beckett's. It seems to be taking the corners a little bit crisper.
Yeah.
YZ's got his mare going sideways, and the Alpine, it's so planted, but we're now in the straight, and the mare's
Close.
just going to teeter away.
Is Will going to do a move under the brakes?
I think he is. He's going to get him. He's setting it up.
He shows the nose,
Yeah.
but then backs out. The thing is with Will, I've had him behind me in the past, and he's looking for a move, is he? No. He'll just keep showing his nose. He'll
Relentless.
happily sit there, and he'll just force you into a mistake.
I think he can see in slow motion, this guy. There we go. He's got the
run on the exit. Is YZ going to back out? No, Will backs out. He'll get him on the switchback. I think he's going to get him on the inside of this hairpin. Yeah. He set that up lovely. A little touch at the apex, but nothing to lose any sleep. Yes, and YZ's come back out with the hairpin. And Will's backed out now. This is a brilliant battle. But however, this has let Butler Racing, TK Drifter and Linkler pull away. There's now a 4-second gap from Butler to YZ. But fair play to YZ. He left Will the room when he needed to.
Yeah.
And the same Will did for him. So currently we've got Linkler is still on the back of Tro. I don't think it's going to be long before he looks to make a move on Tro, if I'm honest. Tro's all over the back of Devilson coming into Maggots and Beckett's.
Well, YZ made a mistake in turn 1. Will Friedman tried to follow his line and his back end cut out, so he couldn't get the traction to then take the position from the mistake. He's forcing YZ to make mistake left, right and centre here.
Yeah.
And that's them now coming down the...
I'm on board with Will now, and he's literally pushing. This just shows how close the GT4 racing can be.
Right.
Oh, YZ parked it on the apex.
Parks it, perfect.
A very, very good choice.
He's made a few mistakes though, so I think Will's just being very patient.
Yes, I do as well.
Whilst you're watching that,
I'm just going to jump on with the front three because the front three are separated by 2 tendons.
Yeah, indeed.
And Tro is dead. Oh, and TK Drifter has just appeared at the scene and taken Linkler. Oh, Tro's just turned Devilson round.
Yeah. Oh, there's a complete and utter medley.
Tro's done. Yeah.
And this is going to punch the whole pack up, and here we go. Will Friedman is taking full advantage. It's just been forced wide. I think they ended up going 3 wide round that corner there. I think that's what happened there.
Yeah, well, I think Tro just got up the inside of Devilson.
Yeah.
And caused him to spin. So
Butler's now up in second.
Now they've sorted themselves out. We've got TK Drifter out in front by 2.8. Because I think he was the one that got away with it. I think Linkler got caught up in the aftermath and had nowhere to go.
Is he going to think to set the rest of the race out, or is he going to repair damage?
I think TK Drifter is he struggling with the rears? The car just seemed very loose through turn 1. So,
but what he said he's consistently get Will Friedman.
Butler is now up in P2 and YZ is in P3. Still with Will Friedman pushing him. This reminds me of when I was on the PS, and I think we were at Donington. I think you were in the chat in that race at that time. And GT Jamie was because I always struggle around Donington. Oh, Will Friedman's going around the outside in the chicane.
Yeah, can I just say that
YZ is running him round the outside on the exit.
side by side, and I
Oh,
think
he's
Will
had a
Friedman
bit of a
got
slide.
ahead. And Devilson is now going to apply the pressure to YZ.
I think Will Friedman now will pull that gap out.
He will park his arms.
Linkler has come out the pits
Oh.
to finish the race, which is fair play to him. So now we've got YZ in P3 still. And then we have
We are
an
halfway
just
through,
updated
not
on
over
the
yet.
Will Friedman now up into P3.
Yes.
YZ can he follow Will Friedman? Because I think Will's got the pace to catch Butler in the 14 minutes that's left. Devilson
That's
filling.
very good mentality from Linkler to come back out. He obviously went in just to get repair of the damage that he's sustained. Showing the beautiful grassroots livery.
So the front three now have spread out a little bit. The battle now is a four-way battle for P3.
Yeah. Will Friedman's in the Alpine, which is not the greatest in the straight line.
Yeah.
Neither is Tro's Mighty Generator. So we've got the two fastest cars in a straight line sandwiched between two of the slowest cars in a straight line.
Devilson's got a run on YZ down the hanger straight, but YZ's got the inside line for the next turn.
I'm watching it quite beautifully here from the steering wheel of Tro's car, and there's a wee touch going into the corner.
Is Tro going to take advantage?
He is indeed.
I don't know if there was much in that. This could get juicy into the chicane now.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't. I thought Devilson was going to make that 3 wide then.
That was beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, Tro's caught the curb.
Oh, look how close that beamer is, and the rear end is going to take that inside line.
Yes, he has. Tro's yielded. No, he's not. Tro's hanging around the outside.
Too wide round probably one of the most difficult sections in the track.
It's frightening, that right-hander. Especially if you've got a car on your... Oh, YZ's run wide.
But he's going to park it on the... So,
tiny
he's run wide there and went off track. So, for him to be battling for that position there, it's not necessarily...
No, yeah.
No.
Luckily, there was no contact which caused an incident.
No contact made, but I think it was...
a little bit of an unsafe rejoin.
Yeah. Maybe just heat at the moment, doesn't want to yield that place.
Yeah.
Because this battle is commencing really well. Tro's going to get that inside line because the generator just holds. Or the Merc's just popping through it on the outside. That's the difference there with the power of the Merc.
Yeah.
And the stability of the generator.
Yeah. Yeah, Tro had him at the turning at the apex, but on the exit, the Merc just powered around the outside, didn't it?
Yes. Look at that, it's so stable and exit to those corners.
That's a couple of times I've seen YZ run wide in turn 1, so I think he's going to be close to getting that drive through.
Yeah. I think TK Drifters maybe got this secured unless he makes a mistake. He's got just under 12 minutes to go.
Yeah, and he's
Butler lead 3.8 seconds behind, and Will Friedman in thirds. Will Friedman's taking advantage of these guys battling because he's gone.
YZ's up defending the line from Tro. Give him YZ is defending very sensible as well. He's making that.
He's not doing that. He's not weaving. He's making that one move.
And he's making the move early enough to stop Tro maybe having a look at the inside. He's putting his car.
That's one of the hardest things to do in this type of racing is to think when to do that move.
See, he's done it now. He's just put the Merc in the middle of the track, which has
That's it.
forced. Oh, how late is Tro on the brakes? Oh, and they've touched. And Tro and YZ doesn't look like he's going to give that place back.
No. I think that was YZ that made that touch there. I think Tro gave him the space, and YZ's been slightly unstable with the back end of the work, so it could have been a bit of understeer there, especially going into that corner.
Possibly, because he was on the curb as well,
Yeah.
which is unlucky.
No, I was going to say YZ was probably starting to kind of teeter as my favourite tonight, but I think that's just a little bit naughty. Now he's unsafe re-entry, and now that contact and not giving the place back.
Yeah. So the
I'm
field
now
is.
more inclined to give my driver of the day to Linkler, to be fair, only because of his mindset.
Yeah, yeah, that's not a bad shout to be fair.
He's out there on his lonesome, a lap behind,
Just putting the laps in.
putting the laps in, pushing his marker best he can.
I think
Finishing the race.
Will Friedman's catching Butler.
Yes, he has. He's gained a second already. But Butler is very notorious for being consistent.
Yes, and he's very, very good at managing that gap. On Tuesday again, I'd catch him. I'd get within 4 or 5 tenths of him, and then within a lap he'd pull away again to like just over a second. So I think he's very, because he does race in real life, doesn't he?
He does, yes. So he's probably versed in the ability to read Delta and see where he needs to push and see where he needs to hold off and all these kind of elements.
Yeah.
But I think what Will Friedman's very good at is catching people in the braking zone.
Yes. Well, he's
And
already
getting the
made
car that
3 tenths on him in this lap.
he's
No.
he's now made 7 tenths.
Yeah,
In
he's
9 tenths. Sorry.
because he was 1.8 at the end of the
1.8
hanger straight,
Yeah.
so he's catching him.
He's leaving Devilson for dead. He's catching. He's got 8 minutes to do it. And looking at the pace and looking at the ratios, I think in
Oh,
2 laps he's going to get.
Devilson is either just let YZ through, or he's outbraked himself. Oh, Devilson's heading into the pits.
His car does have a wobbly bonnet.
Does it? Let's have a quick look.
Yes.
Oh yes, the front doesn't look too good.
Oh,
And
it's not there.
I know he's stopped. It's a potential speed in the pit lane, maybe.
Oh no.
We'll have to keep an eye on that Delta, see if he comes up with a drive-through.
Yep. So let's see what Will Friedman can do again under braking, because it's this sector here. He's coming into sector 2.
Yes.
He's braking. This is where he gained the ground on Butler before. He's lost 1/10 in half a lap. He'll just maybe gain about another 4 or 5 tenths here, and then start applying the pressure.
He's very quick through sector 2.
Yeah. I'd like to have a look at the timetable and see who holds the fastest times. Butler's managing that gap, what he says, but here we go. I don't think he's got that Beamer as stable as what Will Friedman has this Alpine through this section. It's the slow corners that the Beamer, look, he's gained so much ground here. He's now 1/10 behind him, I would say.
It's less than that. Half a second.
No. Wow.
Yeah, he was, to be fair. I think Devilson's called it a night. He's sat in the pits.
Oh no. Not good.
So yeah, TK Drifter's long gone.
What we need is fuller grids so that the commentary can be faster and more furious.
Yes.
Right now, that I think the grid had spread out slightly by halfway point, and now we're down to one battle on the grid, which is Will Friedman and Butler. 5 minutes to go.
Yes.
Maggots and Beckett's Will Friedman is just caught Butler in the braking zone on the exit to Maggots.
Yeah.
Butler's defending that line.
Yeah, he made his one move and then one move back to the braking zone.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, I've just got on board with Will in a minute looking at his steering wheel inputs. Because he's so smooth.
Yeah. Upshift quickly, it's third there out of there. We're down below second in these GT4 cars, so the cars with that stability.
I think the one car you can do that in is the Audi. You don't want to do it in the... Oh. Thought Will was going to have a look. Is he Will going to get the switch back on him?
Setting up the switch back.
He is, and he's got it. Oh, what a move! And Butler tried to shut the door, but is the BMW speed down the straight going to prove? Yes.
Right, so
Butler's had to pull out the slipstream.
The server.
Who was?
Who went into the pits?
Devilson.
Yeah.
So I think if Butler Racing can stay. Oh, he's
trying his hardest.
Has he kept it? Yeah, he's kept it.
Unlucky. That's so unlucky. I think the gap's too big now for Pro to close that in and Butler.
Yes.
Y, Z, and then Limpler. So the pack's now completely spread. I think the only battle that anything could happen is if Will himself makes a slight mistake. Or
TK Drifter does.
So who are we going to put? That's us now. We've got 3 minutes left. That's again another very, very quick half an hour.
Yeah. I think Butler. To see how he coped with that pressure from Will.
Yeah. So I know it's definitely a good mindset to have, to come back out the pits and do what Limpler's done and just thrash out the laps, keep it going. He's now 6th place. He's going to get a nice wee whack of points just for taking part. But yeah, I think TK Drifter being in 1st place, Will Friedman has went from the back into 2nd place.
Yes.
And Butler has done well, but he's made a couple of very, very slight mistakes. I'm going to give my vote to Will Friedman.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were on about the interview.
So for the interview, we should maybe get Butler in, yeah? We'll talk to him about that battle he's just had with Will Friedman, but I'm going to give my driver of the day to Will Friedman for going from the back to what looks like 2nd place very safely. He's not going to make a mistake. He's got 1 lap to go. And he forced the pressure on YZ.
Okay, the leader is on the final lap now. Give it
There
all
was a
you
big
can.
incident that happened and they took full advantage of that. The car's all bunched up.
Yeah.
Now he's in 2nd place, so my driver of the day goes to Will. I don't know if you're in the same mindset.
No, yeah, because he he was clearly quicker than YZ, and he never forced the issue.
Yeah.
He never
And
tried to.
YZ parked his bottom where it had to be.
Yeah. It was good to watch.
Very good. These smaller grids, and I'll give them their due, they tend to have a very, very good entertainment value.
Yes.
But then it starts getting teetering at the end of the race like this.
Yeah, it's when, like you say, the last 10 minutes, just the because everyone's pushing so hard at the start.
Yeah.
It's.
I'm going to send Butler the.
I've already done it.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Too quick for me.
Not just on here either.
That's what he said.
let's keep it clean.
Just like YZ did. Not.
Yeah.
Okay.
I,
Did you notice
I,
there?
I don't think there was any malice in what he did when he had the touch with Tro.
No.
It's
Not
one of
at
the.
all.
It was just a pinch point. Tro was so late on the brakes, and I think it caught YZ by surprise. To be honest,
Yeah.
I don't think he was expecting Tro to go around the outside. So as TK Drifter comes into the last couple of corners on the last lap, very clean race. Again, just sat.
A nice podium win. And do you know what? I guarantee he's had his eyes on that Delta that entire race.
Just keeping an eye on that gap to Will.
The leader has
So
finished the
well
race.
done, well
And
done
he's
TK.
well done TK for coming over the line. And
Well
then
done Will
in
for
second.
battling from the back. We didn't have such good qualifying. Great race by Butler again, taking advantage of the incident that happened and just capitalising on it.
Yes.
Tro come over in P4. Again, a little bit unlucky with the contact with YZ, and he just got caught up in that incident.
You know what? Winkler is catching YZ here, and he's pushing. I think he's aware. Oh, he's pushing so hard. I
Yeah,
think
he's a couple of
he's very
seconds back.
aware that YZ's driving with damage.
He's very slow, isn't he?
He is indeed.
I think Linkler made 4 or 5 seconds up on him on the last sector.
He's made about 30 seconds up on him.
Oh, was he that far back?
Yes, Linkler went into the pits to repair damage, remember?
Okay. And no doubt someone, yeah, Tro is doing donuts on turn 1. There's always one.
So, TK Drifter comes over the line in first place with Will Friedman in second and Butler rounding off the podium.
Yes.
Tro 246 in fourth place. Very, very nice, consistent run from Tro himself. I think Butler and Will Friedman, I would say that was probably between that and Will Friedman and YZ, two of the best battles in the race.
Yes.
YZ in fifth place. Linkler really pushing so hard there because I think what he did see was YZ had lost sort of control somewhere. I think it off camera he's maybe struck a wall.
Possibly,
His
yeah.
car's been going slower because Linkler was around about 35 seconds behind, and in the last 3 laps, he's gained that ground, and then he's pushed it so hard there right at the end and lost control. Or I think it would have maybe have been a nicer wee sprint finish to the finish line, so that brings Linkler over the line in sixth.
Yes.
Every driver, apart from Devil's Son, completed 14 laps, and Devil's Son left the server 10 laps in.
Yes. So, all in all, I think it was a good race. Close.
Very entertaining. I mean, how entertaining would that be with 20 cars on grid?
I know.
Absolutely magnificent.
It'd be phenomenal.
Yes. Phenomenal.
But it's like quali. There was 6 cars within a second.
Yes, there was indeed.
Very quick.
So have we got Butler coming in?
I have dropped him a message, but I'm not.
So
Oh, speak of the devil.
here he comes.
Good evening, or should we say good morning?
Good afternoon, Mr. Butler. Hello?
You've got your microphone muted, Butler.
How's that?
There he is. Good evening, or should we say good morning?
Oh, you need to turn the television off.
Yeah, we're getting feedback.
Hang on.
So
Right, give it all you can.
Have you got it coming out your speaker?
Yeah, hang on.
like encounters of the third kind here. There we go.
Can we hear him now?
At last.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Yeah. Hey, how are we?
How you doing, mate? You okay?
Yeah, mate, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. Good race.
So, how did that feel? That was a very, very, very close, very intense race with none other than one of the hardest guys on track.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, he's a bit of a pit bull when it comes to chasing you down, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Relentless.
Very
Yeah.
quick.
We thought we would.
I tried to hold him out.
Yeah, we watched, I think, 90% of the battle you had with him. It was close.
Yeah, it was lucky. I don't know what happened with Devil and stuff into there where it ended up nearly going monster truck style over the whole lot. But yeah, ended up in P2 and
Yeah, I think Tro got up the inside of Devilson, I think it was, and there was a little bit of contact, and it was one of them really slow spins.
Yeah.
And just as Devilson's BMW turned fully 180 degrees, I think you just slipped up the side of him.
I just kept the foot into the bucket and ended up out the other side of it in P2. That's all I did. So
No, it was good.
Hat off to you, because to finish in third place, especially with some of the guys that are on track, they're all, in fact, give them I don't know if you've seen Butler, but top 7 drivers were within a second.
yeah, it's pretty close. It's just so tight, the racing. The GT4 racing is just so tight. You can't afford to make a mistake. You got to be clean and you got to put the pressure on the guy in front so he'll make a mistake, because that's the only way you'll get by him, really. So yeah.
Well, I was saying to Chris during the race while watching you and Will battle, you can tell that you do racing outside of FRL for real.
Yeah.
Just by the way you position your car and
the way
defending,
you manage
and the way you didn't push too hard when Will was behind you. I think you just tried to manage the gap as best you could.
Yeah, it was just a matter of knowing that he's hunting you down. It's a bit intimidating. And the last time that we spoke, he said, "Don't be intimidated, race me." So that's exactly what I did.
And you did, to be fair.
Just race him. So yeah,
you did.
But when he got up the inside of me, you've got to be fair. When you got to concede the position. My tyres were starting to go a little bit, and I just couldn't push that hard for the rest of the race. So
was there a bang just as you're looking through the farm, or did you give him the space?
Look, I give him. You have to be fair when you've conceded the place, and you know that he's going to get up the inside of you. And I knew that the Alpine was really good through that last lot of chicane before you get on I'm not sure what that one is, but they're really quick out of that really really tight stuff. So it was. I knew that the BMW wasn't going to be able to get him out of like off corner speed. So it was just a matter of just trying to keep with him and stay with him, and then the tyres went off. So yeah, it was a bit hard.
Yeah, we saw you try and stop the switch back out that tight hairpin. But unfortunately, he just got up the inside, literally just after the apex.
Yeah, when it's like that, mate, you know what it's like. It's just you've got to concede and figure that well, you know, he's definitely got the inside line and he's going to get a better exit. So it's that was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, me and Woody were discussing there how good that would have been if it was a full grid, how intense it would have been, and how far more kind of invigorating it would have been for the guys taking part if that was a fuller grid.
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's a shame we don't get the numbers, but still, even with the small amount of numbers, just the intense racing because Will's not in a normal car that he normally take. Taking the Alpine. So if he had been in the BMW, I'm sure he would have dominated and been out front.
Oh yeah.
So, but taking the Alpine just sort of cut back that really sharp edge he's got. So, and it just made it a little bit more mixed up. So, which was good. You know, it was good that we all got to have a go, mate. So
yeah. Well, Butler. Just to let you know as well, Chris has agreed that if we get on a Tuesday, Thursday, and a Sunday in 1 week, if we get full grids, he's going to dye his hair pink and get Triple X tattooed across his forehead. And I'm going to shave my beard off.
Shave his beard off.
That's the deal. If we get 3 full grids on the late night in 1 week, I will shave my beard off.
I'll go and buy this.
Scary. That's a scary prospect there, right? That right there. So, yeah, a very scary prospect. So,
but no, definitely. Thanks for coming on, mate. It's always good to just
you're welcome, mate.
Driver's insight after the race.
Well done.
No problem.
Mate.
Well done, mate.
Very well deserved.
Thanks, mate. I really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for taking the time. Appreciate it.
No worries. Thanks, mate.
Good on you. Thank you.
See you later, Butler.
See you, mate. See you, guys.
See you later, mate. So
that wraps up the
I think YZ's just put in the chat he was out of fuel.
So that's why he
was going so slow. Yeah. Phil says thanks for the spin. He was off the track as well.
Oh.
Who's Phil says?
I think it's maybe just a little bit of to and fro in there.
Ah, okay. But no, it was good. Enjoyed that.
Yes. I would just really, really, really like Sunday to be a lovely, juicy, full grid. So
yes,
the twos will work on trying to get as many people as we can in.
Yes. But no. So just before we cut the stream, Chris,
yes.
Are we going with Mr. Friedman for our driver of the day?
Yeah, I would say so, because he's went for the back. He's applied pressure to everyone that he encountered cleanly as well, and just missed out on first place by about 5 seconds. So I think it's got to go to him, to be fair.
Yeah, I think it has as well.
So I'll open up, and you can post it if you want.
I was just going to do the same. If you wanted me to do it, or are you already on it?
So I'll do that. Yes. Oh, late night. Driver of the day is now live for your votes. And then if you want to post up the Two Beards One Comms nomination, which is Mr. Friedman himself.
Yeah, I'm just posting the. Yeah, well, we'll sort that out in a minute. But yeah, thanks very much, Chris. It's been a pleasure as always.
It's always a chore, never a pleasure, mate. I mean, it's always a pleasure, never a chore.
It's always exciting, sat waiting with the countdown at the start of the stream, thinking, is he going to make it before the countdown finishes?
I'll always make it. I'll always make it, and I'm always as much as I come in kind of last minute, etc. I'm always prepping and thinking about it before I get onto my streams.
I think I sent you a message, Chris, and it must have been 60 seconds until we go live, and you weren't in the chat. Talk about cutting it fine, but you were here.
Aye, as always.
So I will see you Sunday.
Yes, and I will see you Sunday as well
for the Porsche Cup. It's at Silverstone, isn't it?
Yes, Porsche Cup, Silverstone. Let's get involved. It's on the PS4 version. Any PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 driver role can get involved. It's the first 20 that react on the check-in get into the server. So,
and I'm just looking at the check-in, and there is currently only 6 checked in.
That's fine. Let's push for it.
Let's try and get
more people in that Porsche.
Yes. Right, Chris. I think my controller is telling me it's time to switch off because it's just disconnected. Thanks very much, Chris.
So thanks again, mate. I'll speak to you soon.
See you